Hello, I'm Jennifer Mata-McMahon. Welcome back to another Makeup Monday video. In this video, I thought I'd show you what I'm starting with on my no-buy year. And we're going to go through my vanity and all the makeup that I have in my vanity drawers, on top of it, in the little cart that I have next to it, and some of the makeup that I have as backups in the bathroom. I also want to give you sort of a shot of a pan of my skincare collection, but I'm not going to go through it one by one. I did last night count every single makeup item that I have in use, not the backups, but the stuff that's out that I'm using that I have been trying to go through, and that is just like sort of like sitting there waiting to be used, but it's out and open and in the process of being used. So let's get into it. Okie doke. So this is going to be a review of what I'm starting off with in terms of makeup for my no-buy year. So this is officially the beginning of it all. And I wanted to show you what I have, what I'm starting off with. And I actually went through all of this last night, including what's in those drawers right there, and counted what I am starting off with, what I have currently out and in use. And I know that I have some backups of some of these products, and so I counted them and put a plus sign next to the ones that I know I have, not only the ones that I have here, but more of them as backups that I'm hopefully going to use up as well, or at least tap into. As you can see, I'm starting off with quite a bit, so I don't think that I will use all of this during 1 year. Especially eyeshadows and lip products. I have way too many to go through all of them and to have a need to purchase any in terms of replacements for the year. But yeah, let's go through them. Well, the first thing I counted were my eyeshadow palettes. And the majority of my eyeshadow palettes are right here. So I divided them into big palettes and smaller palettes. And by smaller palettes, I mean things like quads, like these, or eyeshadow palettes that are just smaller, that have more colors or more shades, more number of shades. This one has 8, for example, but they are small in size. So those were the ones that I termed small palettes. The bigger palettes are like this size right here, for example, that has, let's see how many shades this guy has. That's 3 times 6, that's 18 shades in this palette. So palettes like this one that have 18 shades, or even bigger palettes like the Morphe palettes that I have down here. I don't know if you can see them. And the Lorac Pro palettes that are the big Lorac palettes. I have 3 of those. And I have 3 Morphe palettes there. Maybe I can give you a side shot there if you can see. Or move this little cart forward. There we go. And so these are my Morphe palettes, and these are the Lorac palettes, and this is the Emily Edit, the Wants palette. That's also a big one. But I'm counting these as big as well. And so I have 40 big palettes and 27 small palettes. Let's put this guy back. This is one of the big ones, right? I have some palettes, some of the big ones over there as well. There I have my Anastasia Beverly Hills palettes. I have 4 of those. And then I have the Dose of Color collaboration with Desi and Katie up there, the Friendication palette. So those palettes are also counted, although they live up there on my vanity because they're the ones that I'm using right now. But most of all of my palettes are here. And again, I have 40 big ones, 27 small ones. I also have some liquid shadows and stick shadows, and those live up here in this little container. So in here I have these liquid ones, and these are pencil shadows So eyeshadows that come in a stick form. And for those I have 10 sticks and 4 liquids. And then I also have some singles. So in this drawer over here, towards the back, I have a little basket in which I have singles of eyeshadows. And for singles, I have 16 eyeshadow singles in this little basket. So that's what I'm starting with in terms of eyeshadow, in terms of palettes, in terms of singles, in terms of liquid shadows, and in terms of stick shadows. Now let's move to, now that we have this kind of drawer open, I'll show you this. This is my face products. Some of my face products are in this drawer. So what I did was I counted the face palettes and I divided them by blush palettes. So palettes that were only blushes, like for example this one that only has blushes, and that Milani one as well. Let me open this up. So this one, it's only blushes, and that one. And then I have contouring palettes, and I have combo palettes. Palettes like this one that have blushes, bronzers, highlighters, and all in one place. So for blush palettes, I have 11 blush palettes. Some of them are over here, some of them are over here, some of them are these 3 that I just showed you over here. Just blushes palettes, I have 11 of them. I also have contouring palettes, and of those I have 4 contouring palettes. Some of them are here, this Lorac contouring palette and this Urban Decay one, and I have 2 more. I have a little one from Catrice, and then one of these Tarte palettes over here is a contouring palette. It's, I think this last one down there. So of contouring palettes I have 4. Of combo palettes like this one that I showed you, that I mentioned before, I have 6. So I have 6 palettes that have a combination of blushes, highlighters, and bronzers, and I have, this is one of them. Some of my palettes I showed you, the ones that are here, but some of my palettes, face palettes, are here as well. So here you can see this is a blush palette. These guys over here are palettes that have blushes and bronzers and highlights. So these are like the combo palettes. So these are the 4 combo palettes. These 4, these 3, and the Hourglass one over there. So yeah, that's regarding palettes. But then I have, as you can see over there, a ton of blushes, single blushes, and I counted them all, and I have 45 single blushes. Many more than any person would ever need or to use. And then here I have some other ones. So I have some, this is a blush and these 2 are blushes. But here mainly I have highlighters and powders and bronzers. So I just have these blushes here because they're more on the highlighting side than they are on the blush side. Like this one, for example, I use more as a highlighter because it's very shimmery. I tend to not really like shimmery types of blushes. These as well are a little on the shimmery side. These are the Wet n Wild ombre ones. So here, in terms of highlighters, these are my highlighters. In terms of highlighters, I have 15 highlighters. And in terms of bronzers, I have 14 bronzers. And I'm counting these duos from e.l.f. as bronzers. Some of them have a bronzer and a highlight, or a bronzer and a blush, but I'm counting them as bronzers. So 14 bronzers, 15 highlights, 45 single blushes, And then I counted my powders as well, and I counted them together, loose and compact powders. No, that's not true. I counted them separately. So I have 9 compact powders. The lighting is really bad here right now. I don't know why. I have compact powders and loose powders. So I counted 9 compact powders and 5 loose powders. And in the loose powders, I have them here, but I also have one over here, my Art CMA one that doesn't fit anywhere is here, and then I have my Laura Mercier loose powder in this drawer over here, which used to be my, or is still my, everyday makeup drawer. So this powder is also counted there. And these this bronzer, these powders over here, this contouring shade, this highlight, and these small eyeshadow palettes are counted in the numbers that I shared with you before. And so is this powder right here, is a compact powder. So all of that comes up to those numbers I shared with you. Now let's look at foundations and primers and eye products and lip products, which I have a ton of as well. So for foundations, I have the foundations that I'm using here, and actually this one I used today, the It Cosmetics foundation, and I think that my use today was the last use because I pumped until the last drop came out for that foundation. But I have those 5 foundations there. I really like this one. I got this one in a Nipsey bag, and I really like that Estee Lauder one. But I'm using, these are the ones that I'm using right now. These 2, again, this one I think is done, and this one's about to be done. So those are foundations, but the other foundations that I have are here in this section right here. So I counted the ones that are in here, but I have 2 colors of this one, for example, and I have 2 colors of this one, and I counted those as 2 separate individual ones. And I have a total of 18 foundations, counting those as double. And then for primers, I have 18 primers as well out here. So here, the primers are here. Mainly, and then I have one primer that I'm using and it's almost done, is this one that's out here, and then I have some other primers here in my everyday makeup drawer. But yeah, so 18, and I put a plus on it because I know that I have some more primers as backups in the bathroom. And I'll show you shots of what I have in the bathroom. I'm not going to go through it, but I'll just show you pictures of that, as well as pictures of what I have here in the vanity. So for setting sprays, I have 5 out here, but I set in my list 5 plus because I have this one in use. It's almost done. I finished a mini one today of that one, of the Scandinavia one. And then I have these ones in the back. I don't know if you can see them. I have an e.l.f. one, 2 e.l.f. ones, the Morphe one, and Fix Plus from MAC back there. So those are the 5 that I have in use, but I have many other ones as backups. I'll show you pictures of that. Let's see, what else? Contoured sticks, concealers, contouring sticks. I have 4 contouring sticks right here, these 4 right here, and then I think that's mostly all for like face products. I have concealers over here, so let me see. In this little section right here, I have mascaras, brow products, eyeliners, and concealers. And so for concealers, I'm starting out with 9 concealers right here. I'm starting out with 31 eyeliners, and I said 31 plus because I have more eyeliners as backups or in a drawer. These, what happens with me with eyeliners is that I have a couple that I love and use every day. And then I have other ones that are different colors that I rarely use, but I have them because they're different colors. And then I have a ton of black ones that have come in Ipsy bags that I've kept. Some I've given away, but for the most part, I keep them as backups. Not really sure when I'm going to use them, if I'm going to need them, but they're there. So 9 concealers over there, 31 plus eyeliners. I have 8 mascaras here in use. I have a lot more mascara, so that's 8 plus. And then eyebrow products, I have them here, and they are 13 of them here that are eyebrow products. Those also are 13 plus because I have more of those in my backup drawer. For eyeshadow primers, I have 3 in use. This one, that's the one that I use every day, but I have these 2 other ones. This is a glitter glue that I'm calling an eyeshadow primer because that's what you use it for, and this comes in the Lorac palette. I have many more of these as backups in the drawer in the bathroom, but these are the 3 that are out and being used right now. So that's also a 3 plus there for those. Okay, so that's all with the face and the eyes. Let's go to lips. So for lip liners, this was ridiculous, the number that I got for lip liners. So I went through this little container, which I have all my lip liners in, and I have some over here, which are the ones that I use on the daily, and I have 72 lip liners. I know I have a couple of backups of lip liners too, so that is 72 plus lip liners. In terms of lipsticks, those were easy to count because they're in these containers, and there's 24 and 24 there, and then I have some extra ones like these over here that are from ColourPop, these over here that are from Lorac, and then I have some minis that I've stored over here, like my Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk, and I have a mini from Bite Beauty as well in here. So I counted all of those, and for lipsticks I have 63 lipsticks. I have for lip pencils, which are over here, and what I did was I counted all of these lip pencils and all of these lip pencils, and between these 2 sections right here I have 47 lip pencils. I also counted my lip glosses, which are over here, and I have 40, counting these Dose of Color ones as well that are newer ones, and that's why they're outside, because they don't fit. And then liquid lipsticks is what I have the fewest of, and I bunched like matte liquid lipsticks with the moussey liquid lipsticks, and for those I have 28. I have 4 lip plumpers, either in a stick or in a creamy format, and I have 1 Bobbi Brown lip palette, which is this one over here, and it's mainly lip glosses for this one. So that is all in terms of lips, and that's all in terms of makeup that I have. That's a lot, people. Way, way more than I will ever use. Okay, so the final numbers come down to this. I counted everything sort of in groups. For eyeshadows or eye products, shadow likes, I have 97. For face palettes, I have 21. For single blushes, highlighters, bronzers, powder, loose and compact, I have 88. For foundations, primers, setting sprays, contour sticks, and concealers, I have 54. For eye primers, eyeliners, mascaras, and eyebrow products, I have 55 of those. And then for lips, lip liners, lip glosses, lipsticks, lip pencils, liquid lipsticks, lip plumpers, and 1 lip palette, I have a total of 255 lip products. So if I add all of those numbers up, I get a grand total of 570 products that I have here on my vanity being used at the moment, or open and available to be used at the moment. That's not counting the backups, and that's not counting the tools. So I'm not counting brushes, I'm not counting sponges or mirrors or eyelash curlers or sharpeners or any of that, or of the tools that I have here that I use on the daily. I'm not counting that. This is just makeup. So people, this just confirms this no buy year is absolutely necessary. I cannot buy one single piece of makeup in this whole year, but it seems like I can't buy one more single piece of makeup ever again. 550 items of makeup that are being used is just way too much for one person and one face in one lifetime. So yeah, that's it. That wraps it up. I will show you pictures of what I have in my bathroom as backups, the drawers that I have of backups for makeup, and my skincare that's all in the bathroom. So you can see that too. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you follow my journey of trying to use all these things that I have, and I will see you again soon. Bye and thank you.